So, the talk of the town right now is real estate commissions and what's going on with that. And I feel like for all the people that I work with, am currently working with, have worked with, that I need to just come on and make a quick video about what is happening. I'm not opposed to change, but I think it's really important to clarify the way that some things are said in the news and with certain headlines than what's actually happening and what is to come. In the headlines, you're seeing all of the clickbait words. The big headlines are that realtors are getting rid of the 6% commission and that's coming to an end, or that we're slashing prices and the cost of buying or selling a home is going to be significantly reduced. But that's not really what the settlement outlines. Top line key points of what the settlement says is that NAR is releasing any liability that they have. Two, that you will no longer be able to show what the compensation is to the buyer's agent on the MLS, and that agents have to have some kind of signed agreement with buyers before we start showing them properties. But currently, the way things run in our MLS here in California is that when a seller is selling a home, they pay commission to their listing agent, somebody like me, and then I work with them to say, what are we willing to offer a buyer's commission? And then we put that in the contract and we put that on the MLS so that when buyers agents are looking, they know what their compensation is going to be. Consumers and buyers can also see this information. It's on different sites like Zillow's and Redfin, so you know how much your agent is getting paid. And it's all outlined through the transaction as well. In the state of California, we've been protected because our contracts clearly say what portion of commissions are getting paid to a listing agent and what percentage of commission is getting paid to the buyer's agent. In other states where this lawsuit has come up, they didn't outline that. It was just here's 6% or 5% or whatever they agreed upon in terms of selling the home. And then the broker or the agent could give a portion of that to a buyer's agent. But the consumer, the seller in that instance, didn't know exactly what that price was. Allegedly, of course. So what happens moving forward? As of right now, this is a proposed settlement that wouldn't take effect until sometime this summer, so it's not happening right away. But if this moves through, then agents would no longer be able to list on the MLS what percentage or what amount is getting paid to a buyer's agent from a seller. It does not mean that sellers can no longer pay a commission to a buyer's agent. And there's a lot of conversations about loans. If sellers are no longer willing to cover a buyer's agent commission, then how do we make sure that buyers in this industry have representation if they can't afford it? In California, we already know that it's really expensive to live and to buy a house. And if you add an additional cost of 2.5 to 3% or 2% or 1%, whatever anybody's charging to the closing costs that a buyer has to pay, that might push them out of the market because it's already hard enough to save for the closing costs and the down payment. On top of that, sellers have always been the one with the choice of how much they're willing to pay their listing agent and the amount that they're offering the buyer's agent. When I talk to my clients, I let them know the fees that I charge for my services, and those might be different than the fees that other realtors charge. But it's like any other industry. You get what you pay for, and everybody has a different price. If you go to legal offices, if you go to retail stores, if you go to an ice cream shop, everybody's prices are a little bit different based on the quality of service and the quality of product that they feel that they provide. And I can speak for myself as an agent. That is the same thing that I do. And then I give recommendations on what I think is a fair price to pay a buyer's agent, considering that they do their side of the work for their client. So there's still a lot of things up in the air as to how this is going to play out when it moves forward. But this is the proposed settlement that will go to the judge that will then decide if they'll agree to it or if there are going to be any changes to the settlement that was offered by the National Association of Realtors. So we'll have to stay tuned and we'll have to see what happens.